We've got some acetone, we've got a rag, and we've got a paint pen. I'm going to show you guys how to do a DIY tire lettering job. So if some of you have watched my previous go-kart build videos, I had mentioned in those videos that in future videos I'm going to start incorporating my C55 more now that the go-kart has, the fabrication of the go-kart has slowed down. Not saying I'm not going to do any videos of it, of course I'll still be doing videos of the go-kart, but I want to do some more videos on my actual car. So I thought I'd start off this, one of the first videos, again, with making a video on a little modification that I've been wanting to do for a while. And the modification has to do with tire lettering. So there's really two ways you can go about doing this, or three ways actually. So the first way is the most expensive way. You can buy actual tire letters. They're like rubberized letters that have an adhesive back, and they're cut and printed in a curvature fashion to fit the diameter of your tire based on your rim size. And that's going to be the most expensive option because for, I can't remember exactly the pricing, but I think for a set of two, so basically to do two tires, the stickers are about 70 bucks, so they're definitely not cheap. The second way is a way that's really temporary, and I don't think it looks all that great, is you do a spray paint stencil, and you basically take stencil of whatever tire brand or whatever you want to mark the tires with, you tape that onto the tire and then you spray paint whatever color you want. And it could go well, it could go bad, depending on how you prep the tire. I was just at a car show yesterday where I saw a Dodge Viper that had painted stencil with spray paint tire lettering, and it was bubbling and flaking on the ends. And then the third way is to just do it yourself with a paint pen. Now, there are many options with these paint pens here, and I actually was originally going to go with the Duplicolor Hot Tires paint pen, but I watched many videos and a lot of people advise that that pen is actually not that great, and the quality of the paint is pretty bad and it wears off the tire pretty easily. So that was like 7 bucks also for a small little paint pen. So I returned that because I didn't even open it after reading those reviews, and I just went to Home Depot and bought this. It's a Sharpie paint pen. It's an oil-based paint pen, white obviously, and they have all sorts of different colors, so you can pick, you know, whatever color you want, but depending on your car's color, you know, other accent colors on your car. But I'm just going to go with the standard white. So yeah, so it's pretty simple and pretty straightforward to use this thing. So I'm going to go ahead and start by showing you guys how the process you kind of need to prep the tire, and then also kind of showing some footage of me applying it. It's not that hard, but I thought I'd incorporate it into the video as well. So before I start, why am I doing this? Just, you know, it's a little thing and change up the look of the car. Plus I really like the look of the tire lettering. It makes it look, your car look more like kind of a race car, if you will. And I like how it looks like when the tires are spinning, and it's got like that rotational look. So I don't know, just something quick I thought I'd try. And I'm gonna have a few more different things that I want to do in terms of modifications down the line, so I thought I'd start with this. But first order of business you want to do before putting the paint on is grab some acetone. Just standard acetone from Home Depot is perfect, and then get a rag, and you want to clean the surface of the tire, excuse me, you want to clean the surface of the tire to get rid of any like tire shine gunk, just dirt in general, off the tire, so the paint has a better surface to adhere to. So I'm going to do that first, and then I'll go ahead and start applying the first coat of paint. And you want to make sure you wipe it down good, because there's going to be a lot of buildup over the course of however long it's been since you've cleaned your tire with acetone. And I've looked online, and the acetone doesn't pose any sort of threat to breaking down the rubber on the tire. It's simply just cleaning off the surface, and then whatever acetone is left is actually just it just evaporates off pretty quickly. So one thing that I want to make sure I don't leave on there is any like fuzz from the rag, because you don't want the paint pen to paint over that fuzz, because then it's not going to obviously adhere to the rubber very well. Some people say that this stuff doesn't last very well, like over time it browns due to more dirt or the sun breaking it down. So I don't know, this is just kind of an experiment, and I don't park my car outside all that much, so I think it should be okay from the sun, but really just depends on the dirt. And it's recommended to apply probably about 3 coats, and I think that's what I'm going to do. So I just clean the surface, and then I'm going to go ahead and actually start prepping, or not prepping, but applying the paint with the pen now. So I apologize if my shadow is playing with the shot here. It's hard because of the sun's angle right now and how I need to do it with my hand. But so yeah, so basically, since I've already used the pen, it's kind of halfway done. But to activate it, just get some sort of surface. So here's like a Plasti-Dip paint can cap. So you just want to press down on the tip. So how the paint flows is when you press down on the paint pen, the paint will flow to the tip of the marker. And so once you do that, the paint's activated at the end of the tip, and then you just want to gingerly, apply to the surface here. And for me, it's going to be tough because there's very small lines here, and so I don't want to get paint in between the lines if I can. So I just want to very lightly go over the surface with the paint pen and not blotch it, if you will. And if you do mess up, you can take acetone and it wipes off right away. So the key with not blotching it is just to be very light with your coats, so paint doesn't run into the cracks. And since the tires are, the letters on the tire are raised up, it makes it easier to not paint the parts that you don't want to, and to only paint the letters. Alright, so end time lapse there. So here's the first coat, and I don't know how it comes up on camera, but the paint, the first coat's going to be the hardest because the paint's trying to adhere to the rubber, and the coats later on will be easier because the paint has kind of a surface to build off of. So like I said, just be very light with the first coat, and don't try and put too much, or else it'll splotch and bleed in between the lines of the letters. And it also depends on your style of lettering on your tire. So I have Nitto Invo tires, so this is the tire letter pattern on this particular tire, and there's also on the flips, the like 180 degree other side of the tire, there's another pattern that says Invo and kind of the same lettering format, and so I'll be doing that. But yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of work around the car, apply the coats to the different the letters on each tire, and then I'll kind of update you guys as I'm going and applying the different coats on the different tires with the other letters as well. A little update here, currently on the second coat for this this tire lettering on the back right wheel. I've had a little bit of splotching just because the paint pen likes to drip a lot when you try and get more paint to come out, but it's not too bad. Just gotta wait for this to dry. The hardest part is like the lines, because it really likes to droop in between the lines if it's still wet, or if a lot of paint is coming out of the pen. Okay, so update here on the front left wheel. I did the Invo part of the tire because this is the part that's upright on this tire, And I mean, it's coming out pretty good. This one was actually harder to do than the Nitto part because the Invo part actually has like a lot of stuff, a lot of part of the letters that you have to fill in, whereas as the Nitto part, you just kind of braze over it. So I'm just kind of waiting for this to dry. I just applied the second coat on this one. Haven't really been able to do any on that back wheel because it's right next to the bush. But I'm gonna get around to doing all of them, and I got to move the car forward to be able to get the other one on this side. But once I do all of them, and kind of, I'll I'll catch you guys up when I kind of have a final product, rather than updating you every time I put a new coat on, and kind of just wrap up the video by doing a final update and kind of a summary of what I think of this paint pen. Okay, back for another update. It's now 2 days later. I got sidetracked with a few different things, so I just had to extend the video out to today. But I got everything done. All four wheels are done. The two lettering patterns on all four wheels are all done and painted and ready to go. They should be dry by now, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys kind of just a quick overview of each of the wheels and kind of explain a little bit of the process, and then I'm going to show what it looks like. I'm going to pull the car outside and show it like that. But I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Now the true test is to see how it holds up over time. So the durability is really the big question here. So I'll go ahead and show you guys what it looks like. So here's the back right. Got the Nitto Invo down there. Same thing goes for the front up there. And then we got this side. This is the wheel I just finished up yesterday, but it's pretty much dry. I mean, it dries pretty quickly. I was able to do coats in about 10-minute spacing because it dries that fast. I mean, I think it has to do with it actually being on rubber, but I mean, overall it came out pretty good. There were a few times I messed up, but it comes right off with acetone. So if you mess up, I used a combination of, you know, a rag, and then I used some Q-tips for like finer areas, and then the really tough part was like in between these lines. I know it's not perfectly in focus, but in between these lines here, when it bled over and kind of seeped into the space, I just used a toothpick to clean it out when it was still wet. So that seemed to work pretty well. So I'm gonna pull the car out now to kind of give you guys a view of what it looks like outside, and also when the tires are rolling, because I think that's one of the really cool effects when you put tire lettering on, is when the wheels are actually rotating. Alright, so that was a little bit of some rolling shots to kind of show you what it looks like in motion. But I'm pretty happy, like I said, with how it turned out. It looks pretty good so far. So now the true test is just to see how it holds up over time. So here's a little bit of some outside shots. I think it just kind of gives the car a little bit more of a race car look. Now the look is very subjective. I think you'll either love it or you'll hate it. So if you hate it, I don't really care because I like it. So troll away in the comments if you don't like it. But if you do like it, I highly recommend doing this because it's pretty easy. Not hard at all. The paint pen is $3.50. You know, it takes a few hours of your time. So yeah, I mean, overall I really like the look, and I think it kind of just adds a different touch to the car's overall look in general. For some reason, it's such a little thing, but it just adds such a big difference when you see white tire lettering on it. So very cool, pretty happy with how it turned out. Okay, so in summary, paint pen, very cheap. Process of putting it on, you know, it took some concentration and skill. It wasn't like a breeze, but it wasn't difficult. You just have to be, you know, have a very steady hand. I found that like resting my hand, so I'm right-handed, resting my arm and hand on the wheel to kind of give me some guidance and support as I'm drawing really helped out a lot. So it's going to take some time if you want to do this, depending on also the pattern of your tires. So mine and tires range from different sizes of lettering to different patterns, etc., depending on the brand. So you know, you'll face different challenges with different tire brands and tire lettering patterns, but this one wasn't too bad. You know, it was, luckily they were raised a good enough amount that where it made it somewhat easy to kind of just only get the lettering and not the other parts of the tire. There were plenty of times though where I did accidentally hit the part of the tire where I didn't want to, so I had to go in with usually it was a Q-tip with some acetone on it, and I just kind of get it off. But overall, pretty happy with how it turned out. So like I've been saying, the true test is how well it holds up over time and the durability of it. So what I'm gonna do is, instead of posting, you know, another video, I'll just kind of update the video description. You know, I'll put like update, you know, and then 2 weeks later, a month later, and kind of show you guys how it's been holding up over time. Granted, this isn't my daily driver, so I'm not driving it every day, and it's not parked out in the sun all the time. So that's one thing that I've heard about this stuff is if you leave your car out in the sun, the UV radiation from the sun really deteriorates it. So we'll see, but I'll keep you guys updated. So I hope this was a little bit of a informative video and kind of maybe poke some ideas in your guys' head on if you want to try it to your car. I really like the look of it, so maybe some of you might as well. But if you have any questions about the process, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer them for you. So if you haven't already, definitely subscribe, because there's a lot more videos of the C55 to come, and also the go-kart and many other car videos. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.